Okay. It seems that we're finally good to go. Oh, great. Yeah, finally. Yep. Hey. Yeah, finally it's good to go. Yeah, finally. So if you can just, yeah, call people for this one, I guess. I guess that most won't really see it because this is happening, all these issues and so on. Yeah, the fix was basically like I told you. It is not because I have an AMD GPU. It's because the last time that I was using this software, I was using it with an Nvidia GPU, I believe, was the 4060 in the other computer that is here down the table. So what happened is that the software was trying to assume and use kind of Nvenc, even though AMD cards don't really have Nvenc, so that was the issue. By the way, finally Streamlabs OBS or Streamlabs Desktop, finally they can kind of stream with HEVC, so H.265 instead of H.264, and that's a nice update. I got the software updated before the stream, and I guess that yeah, finally we can do it. Now I can just go here, can go to the performance mode, and we can just see the chat. Oh, it's not well. My water bottle is not well sealed. Okay, now it is. So guys, we have 3 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. So if you have any questions, and by the way, yes, I have the 9070 XT and I already tested it. And I'm eating as well because, yeah, there's not really much that I can do because I just woke up like moments ago, so I need to eat. I guess I could sleep at least like 7-8 more hours. I'm really tired. So I'll just keep the phone here in order to read some of the chat. I need a secondary screen, I know. But yeah. My cat is trying to eat my sandwich, so I guess that I'll put it here. Predictions. In terms of pricing, that's actually one of the things that we don't know. It's the pricing. We know several things, but we don't really know the pricing. And that's a bummer if you ask me. What model of the 9070 XT? Well, I don't really know if I can say it, but it is from Sapphire. Yeah, the new GPU is considerably, if not a lot faster than your 7900 GRE. But you'll see soon. You'll see soon, don't worry. $50 seconds. Yeah, now I can adjust it. Our rumored performance, yeah, I can't really talk about that because we have an NDA up to the 5th of March. So, yeah, I can't say anything. Guys, I can't really say much about performance because we have an NDA till the 5th of March. It is when the reviews will come out, and the GPUs will be available to be purchased in the 6th of March. Sorry. But the card is really impressive in some scenarios. Really impressive, guys. By the way, tell me if the sound is too loud or not really. Is the sound too loud or not really? Ah, I swear that this software is just a pain in the ass. Now you guys should be hearing.
At AMD, gaming is at the core of our DNA, and the passion of the community is the fuel of our inspiration. PC gaming captivates millions of players
Still no
worldwide
sound.
and has become a dominant force in the entertainment industry. It's about community, creativity,
Still no sound, guys.
and the ever-expanding possibilities that gaming technology brings to the table. Whether you're gaming on a desktop, laptop, handheld, or console, AMD has been at the center of some of the most iconic gaming devices. From the early Microsoft Xbox 360 up to the latest Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 4 to the new PlayStation 5 Pro, or handheld gaming platforms like the Valve Steam Deck OLED, Asus ROG Ally, or Lenovo Legion Go. Even to the latest gaming PCs and laptops, AMD processors and graphics drive the heart of gaming. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Radeon Graphics,
guys,
which
this is going to be really interesting. Better than most of you are thinking.
Hardware transform and lighting capabilities,
and I still don't know about pricing, by the way.
30 million transistor design.
Pricing
Over the years, we've poured our hearts and passion into shaping PC gaming and advancing the realism, immersion, and performance of Radeon Graphics solutions.
Yes,
we've transformed the render pipeline from separate pixel and vertex shaders to unified programmable shader units, with many groundbreaking products along the
This
journey,
is a nice presentation.
like the much-loved Radeon 9700 Pro, to the first teraflop GPU with the HD 4800 series, to the Radeon R9
I had one of
Fury
these, by the
X,
way.
which was the first consumer graphics card with high bandwidth memory technology. In 2019, we introduced the advanced RDNA architecture with the RX 5700 XT, which has evolved to today's RDNA4 RX 7000 designs, featuring hardware ray tracing and AI accelerators nearly 2,000 times more complex than our first Radeon GPU 25 years ago. Now, we're incredibly excited to share with you the next chapter in our Radeon journey. We began with some ambitious goals with RDNA4, starting with an architecture that enables more players to access enthusiast-level gaming experiences.
They're talking about pricing
now. We
now.
focused on where gaming is going and built a significantly improved engine for ray tracing and machine learning technologies to meet the needs of games over the next several years. And finally, we were laser-focused in every product decision to ensure that we deliver the best performance and capabilities that gamers want, while ensuring that we're accelerating our performance per dollar leadership. Today, we're going to take you through all the details of our next generation graphics products, starting with the RDNA4 architecture, with innovations to deliver enthusiast gaming experiences. We'll also share the software innovations built for our RDNA4 products to enhance your gaming experience. And of course, we will dive deep into the Radeon RX
there are several new
series
things for the Radeon software,
that we
by the way,
know
guys.
you're excited to learn more about. First, let's hear from Andy, our lead for advanced graphics architecture, to tell us more about the heart of this new RDNA4 graphics family.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to be here today to talk to you all about RDNA4. There's a lot of exciting details to get through, so let's get straight into it. At its core, the vision for RDNA has remained constant since we started in 2019. We always target the best possible performance that we can engineer for the workloads that will be important to gamers in the life of the architecture. But behind that simple statement lies so much complexity. And as our architects sit down at the start of every new project, we have to navigate through all that we've learned and all that we see coming years into the future to drive our innovation and the areas of the architecture that we will focus on. From the infinity cache, high frequency and ray tracing that we drove in RDNA2, to the advanced chiplet construction, matrix acceleration, and physical design of RDNA3, we aim to bring the very best of AMD's experience in computation, graphics, and advanced construction techniques to bear on the problem of engineering the best products for our gaming customers. Now, With RDNA4, we are bringing the results of years
Thanks
of
for
research
being a
and development
supporter,
to fruition.
Jehan Cross.
With the most powerful
Good morning
architecture
for
we've
you
ever
too.
designed for gaming graphics. We've targeted every step in the flow of rendering. From the front end, with an enhanced command processor to more quickly handle the commands from the application, through the core, where our updated compute units increase the
RDNA4
efficiency
has
of
really
shading
some
and double the
interesting
performance of ray tracing and deliver even larger improvements in ML. To the memory interface, where we improved our efficiency and compression. Our aim was to make your games run faster and smoother than ever before. Going beyond this, we made sure to also elevate other aspects of the visual experience for our users, with updates to our AMD Radiance display and media engines. The streaming community has asked us for encoding quality improvements for popular services like Twitch, YouTube, and Discord, and RDNA4 delivers major improvements across H.264, H.265, and AV1. When using our H.264 encoder at 6,000 kilobits per second, we are seeing up to 20% higher VMAP quality scores versus our previous generation. I'm incredibly proud of what the team has achieved. So let's take some time to dig in a bit further to what you as a gamer can expect from RDNA4. Modern game rendering combines an ever-expanding set of tools to deliver worlds of incredible detail and realism. Rasterization has advanced to the point where we can explore incredibly rich worlds with near unlimited geometric detail. And modern techniques allow fully real-time lighting, removing constraints in how dynamic or complex those worlds can be. AMD's philosophy is to embrace all of the techniques that graphics developers may use and build the best possible platform for them to deliver their vision to gamers. This can be seen in both our advanced RDNA4 architecture and also our regular updates to our GPU Open website, where we post our latest research and development for everyone to use. Whether a game is using fast approximations to global illumination, using compute shaders, or chooses to make use of our advanced ray tracing
drawing the base so we can understand what RDNA4 improves.
We have built RDNA4 to adapt and deliver great performance. The new compute unit includes a number of key optimizations for shading compared to RDNA3. Perhaps the largest improvement lies in a new architecture for handling memory requests, allowing work to flow more efficiently through the machine for the complex shading in modern games. We have enhanced the register.
Now, just let me stop here because he says that the work just flows better. And one of the things that I notice on the RDNA4 is that generally the gameplay is just so smooth, really, so smooth.
Storage in the core with new dynamic register allocation techniques, increasing efficiency. And we've added dedicated engines to accelerate register block moves to make function calls faster for modern shading languages. We have also extended the instruction set of our scalar units, allowing our compiler to schedule more work on these units for better performance and lower power. Taken together, these changes make the compute units by far the most capable we've ever shipped in our consumer hardware. And the performance results that you will see with RDNA4 hardware reflect that. Beyond these broad performance improvements, we also focus heavily on enhancing our ray tracing architecture. We attack this problem at all levels, not only making RDNA4 able to trace more rays more quickly, but also creating hardware that operates more intelligently to reduce the overall work. Of the many advanced RT features introduced in RDNA4, I will call out one key area here that drives the efficiency of ray traversal, which is the representation of the world geometry. The data structure that contains this geometry is called the bounding volume hierarchy, or BVH. In RDNA4, we've taken an innovative approach to this with a new method for organizing that data that we call oriented bounding boxes. And we also developed better compression for the data itself. And these changes deliver much more efficient ray traversal through the geometry, and with a lower memory cost, making better use of capacity and bandwidth. Within the Ray Accelerator, we've added a second intersection engine, which doubles the performance for both.
And sorry for stopping again, and before you see anything, believe me, the ray tracing performance on the 9070 XT is just blowing away usually the ray tracing performance on the XTX, so yeah.
Raybox and ray triangle testing. And based on our analysis of ray tracing workloads, we also created a dedicated ray transform block, which increases the performance of the hardware as rays are traversed into the lower levels of the BVH. With our updated ray accelerators, you will see a transformational change in the efficiency of ray tracing, making great performance available to more gamers at compelling price points and delivering twice the ray tracing performance of RDNA3 per compute unit, enabling smooth gaming experiences even with complex ray tracing effects.
Twice.
Now, let's take a look at our architectural advances for ML, as the impact of these technologies are being felt everywhere. with exciting announcements and new advances turning up on an almost daily basis. Just recently, we revealed a partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment called Project Amethyst, where we've been collaborating for over a year now on research into ML model architectures for graphics enhancement.
Now it's about FSR4.
And I'm happy to say we're already seeing results. Using RDNA4's second generation of advanced AI accelerators, our users will be able to exploit all of the benefits of these new technologies for gaming, content creation, or any of the other emerging areas that are appearing. RDNA4 is able to efficiently process new advanced AI models much faster than was possible with previous generations of hardware.
AI
Whether
is
an AI
much
model
better.
requires high precision with 16-bit floating point, or ultra-high performance with low.
And by the way, guys, I already have the tests done, all the tests done for the 9070 XT, so I'm telling you, I don't really know the price, but in terms of performance, it is very good. Priced correctly, it is an outstanding GPU.
Lower precision, such as 8-bit or even 4-bit, by adding more dedicated math pipelines. And
the drivers are
such as
very
sparsity.
good from the start.
We've increased the peak performance per compute unit by as much as 8x compared to RDNA3. These improvements open a world of new possibilities for users of RDNA4, and we're working now to bring technologies into games and other applications using these capabilities. So, the performance is great, but what can RDNA4 really do? 20 years ago, we released a demonstration that showed the capabilities of our newest Radeon graphics when using Microsoft's DirectX 9 graphics API. This demo was called the Toy Shop.
It can be worth selling your GRE, depending on the price. Again, I don't really know the price.
With advanced programmable shading. Now, as we enter a new era of path-traced visuals, combined
this was a
with
card
ML,
built for
we wanted
gamers.
To call back to this a little bit. So I would like to present the latest work of our...
And you guys are asking me if I tested FSR4. Yes, I tested because it is like a toggle, and yeah, it is much better than FSR 3.1.
Graphics research teams being shown here for the first time in a new demonstration for RDNA4, built with Unreal Engine 5 and enhanced with our latest techniques for neural radiance caching, supersampling, and denoising. And so, I give you our new toy shop.
Nice. They made the new toy shop with path tracing. Remember path tracing? Yeah, thing that AMD couldn't run, it is here running. Nah, not better than the LSS4, but very good, believe me. I was surprised, honestly. I can't really say much more, guys, but believe me, it is a major uplift versus FSR 3.1.
I hope that you enjoyed that demonstration. I am amazed at what the team has developed, and this is just a hint at what is to come in the future. AMD is also working together with Microsoft to seamlessly integrate neural graphics techniques into future releases of DirectX that will light up the high-performance ML.
We'll talk more about things that I know after the presentation, guys, don't worry.
To give you a feel for the new levels of capability that RDNA4 brings and the path of improvement that we've been on with RDNA as a whole. The journey of real-time graphics is just as exciting as ever, and we are not slowing down. But of course, great hardware needs great software. And so to talk more about that, allow me to introduce Andre, our Senior Vice President of GPU Technologies and Chief Software Officer.
Thanks, Andy. The evolution of Radeon hardware has been accompanied by Radeon software innovations, unlocking the full potential of every AMD graphics card.
I'll answer the questions after, don't worry, guys.
Experience, new features,
now the software does bring some new and interesting features.
With the RDNA4 family, we are leveraging AI everywhere, from hardware design to software feature development to enhancing our QA. With this vision in mind, our upcoming RDNA4 Adrenaline driver will set the new standard as the best launch driver in AMD history. Over the past few years, one of our top priorities has been software quality. AMD has
Remember what I told you before, that the software was very good out of the box. Yeah.
Has made significant progress in improving game compatibility, visual fidelity, and driver reliability. To further enhance reliability, we have implemented AI-driven testing tools that identify issues early in the development. Our testing now covers a broader range of products and configurations, ensuring greater stability across different setups. However, we recognize that no testing environment can account for every unique user configuration. This is why we introduced AMD Bug Report tool, enabling users to submit issues directly to us and help us refine our products. Additionally,
1 minute,
we
because
launched
I
a new
was,
beta tester program, inviting
answering
gamers
questions.
and enthusiasts to try pre-release software and provide feedback. By working together with our community, we continue to push the boundaries of software quality and stability. Now, it's time to turn our attention to gaming performance. To seamlessly bring great performance to more games, we have a number of technologies that enable gamers to get higher frame rates, smoother gameplay, and a richer experience at any resolution. While FSR is an incredible in-game solution that delivers the best experiences, we know that there are thousands of other games out there where gamers want more performance. And this is where HYPR-RX comes in. HYPR-RX automatically enables a suite of performance boosting and latency reducing technologies. It works through the adrenaline driver and does not require deep integration into the game.
Yeah, people actually use the bug report tool.
It is our most widely used AMD software feature, available for more than 1,000
Not as much as they should. But
this year, we are adding new features for more performance and to improve image quality, with reduced ghosting and improved fine feature handling
AI
to make
100%.
HYPR-RX even better. In some of the most demanding games at 4K, AMD HYPR-RX can
I will
deliver
do
over 100
overclocking
frames per
for these
second
new cards,
at
don't
4K
worry.
max settings.
it is different
In
as
Star
well.
Citizens, gamers can experience up to 2.9 times better frame rates.
Yeah,
Similarly, in
HYPR-RX,
Kingdom Come
RSR,
Deliverance
nobody
2,
cares about
users
that.
can enjoy silky smooth game experiences at 4K resolution.
By the way, AFMF was also
It can
updated
also automatically
to
enable
AFMF
latency
2.1.
reducing technologies like Radeon anti-lag to reduce latency in games like Apex Legends by up to 42%. One of the fastest growing software technologies is super resolution, or frame upscaling. In 2021, AMD released Fidelity FX Super Resolution, or FSR. This is a cutting-edge upscaling technology to improve game performance. FSR has quickly become widely adopted across many games and platforms. Today, FSR is available in over 400 games, and our latest iteration.
And I'll just stop once again because of people saying that the RTX 5070 is already $549. And I'm telling you right now that in terms of raster, it can't compete with a 9070 XT. It just can't.
FSR 3.1 is already featured in over 70 games. The list continues to grow at an impressive rate, enabling all gamers to enjoy frame generation and upscaling. FSR has come a long way since introduction in 2021 as a spatial upscaler. In 2022, AMD launched FSR 2, which incorporated temporal upscaling and motion vector data. This innovation dramatically improved image quality in motion-heavy scenes. Building on this momentum, we introduced FSR 3 in 2023, adding frame generation to interpolate frames and further boost frame rates. Our latest version, FSR 3.1, had many quality improvements to reduce flickering and shimmering. But more importantly, FSR 3.1 introduced for the first time an upgradable FSR API. This was the basis to seamlessly unlock new capabilities in future versions of FSR. Which brings us to today. AMD RDNA4 owners will get access to a new version, FSR 4, featuring AMD machine learning powered upscaling specifically developed
it
for
utilizes
RDNA4
the same API.
architecture. We are delivering near-native image quality at 4 times lower resolutions.
Nice, near-native.
We have improved ghosting, anti-aliasing, particles, fabrics, transparency effects, more effects. The result is much improved near-native image stability with greater performance. In addition to these improvements, FSR 4 works seamlessly with our frame generation and latency reduction anti-lag technology. Everything we discussed is designed with gamers in mind. At the same time, we worked very closely with game developer community. Now we are taking it to the next level with an upgradable and flexible API that empowers developers to seamlessly integrate and deploy future FSR technologies. FSR 4 can be enabled on all participating FSR 3.1 titles. This allows us to deliver FSR 4 on more titles.
This guy is more...
sooner. This means FSR 4 is ready for the future of neural rendering with the same upgradable API. FSR4 upscaling is end-to-end AI solution developed on AMD consumer platforms with Ryzen processor and Radeon graphics. We trained our model using the latest AMD EPYC and Instinct accelerators and optimize it for the new FP8 ML acceleration in RDNA4. Our new technology leverages a proprietary hybrid model resulting from extensive research across different types and combinations.
I will answer the questions. They don't have the transformer model, but
techniques.
FSR4 is different
FSR4 uses the new FP8 data type in the RDNA4 architecture to balance quality and performance. The result is flexible solution that works with the existing FSR 3.1 framework. Solution that enables a new ML option for upscaling alongside with frame generation and anti-lag technologies for a highly performant end-to-end solution. Here we are showing a close-up shot of Space Marine 2.
By the way, I tested Space Marine 2 as well with FSR4, and I was really impressed. I thought, well, they improved a lot FSR 3.1 since the last time that I saw it. And then I noticed that I had FSR4 enabled, so yeah. Shimmering is much better.
4K versus our previous generations of FSR 3.
And the quality, the clarity,
mode, you can see the spheres retain a lot of detail. FSR 3 does a good job of retaining most of the detail, but in a performance mode, it does produce a softer image. By leveraging AI, FSR 4 is not only able to retain the details, but even corrects the loss of details over the native TAA mode. With that in mind, let's turn our attention to performance. In this video example, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 running at max settings at 4K with variable rate shading turned off. The minute FSR 4 and frame generation is enabled, frame rate increases 3 times. In the third-person shooter Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, FSR 4 delivers an incredible 3.7 times frame rate uplift with sharper visuals. And in Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, you see faster frame rate by enabling FSR 4. As you can see, the resulting output is nearly indistinguishable from the native resolution. I'm happy to say that a lot of our partners and friends are excited about FSR 4. Gamers can enjoy the latest ML upscaling technology in over 30 titles at launch, with over 75 titles planned by 2025. Similar to the rest of our Fidelity FX technologies, AMD will make FSR 4 for RDNA4 available to all developers.
Also, I tested FSR4 in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and those shimmers that you had when the grass was moving is also gone with FSR4.
In the second half of this year, broadening the reach as much as possible. I'm sure that you are all excited to hear more about Radeon RX 9000 series products. Let me turn things back to David.
Thanks, Andre. As we built the Radeon RX 9000 series family, we focused on a number of imperatives. 85% of gamers purchase graphics cards below $700. And we wanted to deliver a family of products to level up the experience for more gamers than ever. We wanted to build products designed for today's most popular games and the most anticipated games launching in the upcoming years. That means building for higher display resolutions, as more gamers are playing at 4K and 1440p than ever before. But it's not just resolutions that are getting more demanding. New game engines and new technologies are pushing the settings used in the latest games. Ray tracing has become far more prevalent in the latest titles, and gamers want to enjoy great frame rates with all of the new in-game technologies enabled. And last but not least, we wanted to deliver a product family which makes the whole upgrade process as simple and seamless as possible. I'm watching the comments and I will answer some of them. With reasonable power envelopes, featuring standard 8-pin power connectors on many of our card designs, and the ability to just plug and play into as many systems as possible. Today, I'm so excited to introduce the Radeon RX 9000 series graphics cards, combining our next generation architecture along with the latest gaming technologies. With a significant performance increase over our prior generation, the Radeon RX 9000 series was built to deliver everything you need for 4K gaming at a 1440p price point. I'm thrilled.
So, you see what's going on here?
To announce the Radeon RX 9070, the world's best $549 graphics card. The 9070 is a great option for getting immersed in the latest titles. With 56 RDNA4 compute units, 16 gigabytes of memory, 2.5 gigahertz boost clock, and over 1,100 AI tops, all in an incredibly efficient
not bad
220-watt power envelope, starting at $549. Generationally,
I have the
at 4K resolutions, the 9070 is able to deliver, on average, 21% faster performance in over 30 of the most popular games, including both raster and ray trace titles. Games like Cyberpunk and Dragon Age: The Veilguard are great examples where the 9070 is able to
Now, most people don't really know about the performance, so they weren't really noticing. But again, this is the same. Well, this is not really bad. I mean, it's $549, and look at the performance difference. Some games do really have a huge performance difference. And the 9070, believe me, the 9070 can be overclocked very, very well. So if you overclock the 9070, you'll get way better than this. And the card only has like 56 compute units, and the GRE has 80. So think about that.
Perform the 7900 GRE by 25%
It's not Noah,
or
believe
more.
me.
In ray tracing, those differences can be even greater, well over 30% in many cases. If you have a 1440p display, the uplift is similar at 20%. And all of this is with no special software enabled, just pure 1440p performance. For those gamers playing popular competitive esports titles at 1440p, the RX 9070 delivers great ultra-high frame rates, meeting
How does 549 turns into 780?
the capabilities of today's latest high refresh gaming displays. In games like Counter-Strike 2,
Yeah, the GRE doesn't really overclock very well. I have one, I overclocked it, I have the best model, and believe me, the 9070 will overclock much better. Not the XT, the 9070 will overclock much, much better.
Dota, you will see frame rates well over 300 FPS. But if you want to take your performance to the next level, the RX 9070 XT delivers even more, making it
to be
the world's
$599.
best graphics card under $600.
More than $595.
It delivers all you
$599.
need for an ultra-immersive gaming experience at 1440p and 4K. With 64 compute units, clock speeds boosting to nearly 3 gigahertz, over 1,500 AI tops, all at a total board power of 304 watts. And best of all, a starting price point of $599.
Yep, that's acceptable.
Looking at the same suite of games against the
Not great,
7900
but definitely
GRE,
acceptable.
the 9070 XT
From what I
delivers
saw.
an awesome 42% gaming advantage at
Now, compare the 9070 XT, the one that I have, and believe me, I can get better performance than this in some scenarios. Oh, my cat's pulling my shirt. And this is versus the GRE, and look at the difference. It's like a huge difference. So 28, 30 something, 40, 42, 46. Believe me, I tested the card and I can assure you that in most scenarios it's like AMD said. It's in between the XT and XTX while being much better in terms of ray tracing and consuming less power. So it's a win-win for AMD users and now having FSR4 and so on.
Native 4K Ultra. Again, this is pure gaming performance uplift with no additional software enabled. But with the power of FSR4, the 9000 series graphics cards have the ability to deliver very high frame rates, well above 100 FPS, while maintaining near-native image quality. Compared to native 4K performance on the 7900 GRE, the 9070 XT with FSR4 can deliver 3 to 4x higher frame rates with incredible image quality and responsiveness. At 1440p, the performance of the 9070 XT is equally strong, averaging 38% faster gaming against the 7900 GRE. But gaming
but I mean, the ray tracing
isn't
performance
the only
is just
place where the 9070 XT
so
shines.
much better.
For creators, you'll see a nice step
generally.
up in AI creator and generative AI workloads, with the 9070 XT outperforming the 7900 GRE by 40% and higher in generative AI and creator workloads. This is a massive leap forward in performance, advancing both your productivity and creativity. Now, let's look at the competitive performance of the Radeon RX 9070 XT at $599 versus the 5070 Ti at $749.
By the way, this is something that we had before. We had a comparison, and it is really, really interesting, guys. Believe me. Like I told you, I tested it versus the XTX and the XT, and I was impressed. So watch this.
The 9070 XT, powered by RDNA4, is able to deliver fantastic performance for $150 less. Across some of the most popular titles, the 9070 XT is the best choice for your next gaming PC when looking at raw gaming performance. But when you factor in the difference in price point,
remember,
the 9070
$150
XT delivers an impressive gaming performance per dollar advantage over the competition's latest at 4K resolution.
And remember that cards like the 5070 Ti and some Nvidia cards, they don't really have stock. And when they do, the street price is not this one.
And if you're looking for the absolute best performance, our partners will feature a higher power 340 watt model with even more performance. This makes the 9070 XT the most compelling upgrade for your system by far. The Radeon RX 9000...
The LSS is better, but not as much better as you guys think. FSR4 is actually pretty good.
Series is designed to deliver excellent gameplay at all of the key resolutions, especially 4K and 1440p with next generation RDNA4 compute units. Both cards feature 16 gigabytes of video memory, giving you more flexibility to increase in-game settings
overclocking
and play
did give
at
me
higher
a bit more
resolutions.
FPS as well.
Pair that with the latest DisplayPort 2.1a and HDMI 2.1b technologies, and you're ready to drive the latest ultra-high refresh monitors. With standard 8-pin power connectors across most designs, the RX 9070 series is an effortless drop-in upgrade for your system. And with PCIe 5 capabilities, they're a perfect match with the latest Ryzen 9000 series processors and the AMD AM5 platform.
Yeah.
The combination of Ryzen and Radeon, along with the advanced suite of AMD gaming technologies, ensures that you're ready to dive into your favorite titles, both today and tomorrow. Now, looking at one of those future titles, our friends at Pearl Abyss are hard at work on their new game Crimson Desert. And we're really excited about this open-world action-adventure featuring incredible graphics, ray-traced visuals, and FSR4.
Believe me, you guys will be impressed.
Crimson Desert is expecting to launch this year.
It's not
and
close
looks
to,
incredible
it's close to
on
the
the latest
4080.
AMD gaming
not
hardware.
Equal, but close.
Let's check in with Pearl Abyss on their progress.
저희 펄어비스에서는 AMD와의 협업을 통해 액션 어드벤처 게임인 붉은 사막의 방대한 오픈월드를 비주얼적으로 타협하지 않고 표현할 수 있었습니다. AMD 라데온 GPU의 최첨단 기술은 붉은 사막의 그래픽 수준을 확장하는 데 큰 도움이 되었습니다. 라데온의 향상된 RDNA4 아키텍처에서는 다이나믹한 날씨 시스템, 캐릭터의 의상과 지형의 디테일한 표현을 위해 제작된 복잡한 쉐이더가 여유롭게 구동됩니다. 또한 라데온 9070 XT의 업그레이드된 레이 트레이싱 성능 덕분에
The XT is generally, I can't say much more, but you guys will be impressed, I believe.
교차되는 검들 사이에서 튀는 불똥과 풀스프의 반딧불이조차 모두 레이 트레이싱된 그림자를 드리웁니다. 여기에 FSR4의 혁신적인 업스케일링 기술이 더해지면 오픈월드 환경에서의 대규모 전투나 복잡한 도시에서도 4K 해상도와 디테일을 유지하면서 매끄러운 프레임 레이트를 달성할 수 있습니다. 붉은 사막의 자체 엔진에 이러한 기술들을 통합하기 위해 저희는 AMD와 함께 작업해왔으며 확장성 있는 구조 덕분에 매우 수월한 작업이었습니다. AMD와의 파트너십, 그리고 라이젠, 라데온, FSR4의 시너지 덕분에 저희는 놀라운 품질의 비주얼을 극도로 최적화된 형태로 선보일 수 있도록 노력하고 있으며 유저들이 붉은 사막의 아름다운 월드를 경험하기를 기대하고 있습니다.
The XT is a very capable card, I'll just say that.
Thank you, Ki-Young-Jun, and the team at Pearl Abyss for the innovation you're bringing to PC gaming. I'm so excited to see what your team is doing and how you're advancing the Ryzen and Radeon gaming experience. With the latest Ryzen 9000 X3D processors and the all-new Radeon RX 9000
for the
series
9070
GPUs,
and
you'll be ready for your
$599
favorite games of today and tomorrow.
for the XT.
Alongside our new FSR4 gaming technology, AMD has some of the best options for you with our 9000 series solutions. Our partners have been shipping these cards into retailers and e-tailers to ensure broad availability at launch. I'm happy to say both the 9070 XT and 9070 will be available for sale starting March 6th. And in the second quarter of this year, we'll broaden the family even further with the RX 9060 products, which we'll tell you more about later. From all of us, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being a part of the AMD gaming community.
Oh, that's all. That's all. I thought that they would show more, actually. I really do, because when they were talking about the software, they actually showed, yeah, and there's nothing more. I really thought that they were going to do much more, because when they were showing the software, again, I'm repeating myself, but when they were showing the software, I thought they were talking about the software, and believe me, the software does have many new things, at least for RDNA4, and yeah, in terms of AI, some of the things that were leaked already, and so on and so on. So yeah, shoot the questions, because there are interesting questions in terms of the encoder that I will test myself as well, in terms of FSR4, in terms of many other things. So yeah, so Johnny is asking FSR4 for 7000 series. Honestly, and I can't say because I saw some things, but I believe at least that AMD is working on it. And maybe they already have some working versions with RDNA3. I have reasons to say this. Nothing really super duper relevant, I should say, but yeah, I have my reasons to say this, and I believe they are at least working on it. But for now, for the drivers that I have, it only works with RDNA4. I tested it, believe me. I just tried the same drivers with the XTX and the XT, with other GPUs, and yeah. I can say that those drivers for the 9070 XT, I believe that I can say this, they do increase slightly the ray tracing performance on the other GPUs as well, at least the XT and the XTX. FSR4 for RDNA2 isn't really happening because they don't really have AI cores, so that's not happening. FSR4 will be for the 9000 series and maybe the 7000 series. I believe they're working on it. How does it compare to the XTX? Well, as AMD leaked before with the XTX, it compares in between the XT and XTX, like we had the leaks done. So I can't really say more, but I can tell you guys that in some scenarios, you guys will be impressed. And in terms of ray tracing, if you have an AMD GPU, you'll be very, very impressed in terms of ray tracing and path tracing. I tested path tracing as well on this GPU, and even without any kind of ray reconstruction, it just works very well. Believe me, in terms of performance, it just works very well. Is the 9070 XT faster than the 7900 XT? Well, you'll have to wait, but again, I believe you'll enjoy the card. AMD never loses a chance to lose a chance. Well, not actually. I believe that they priced it quite interestingly. I believe that they could do better, and I believe that the cards will maybe get some price drops, but it is a very good price for these cards. For the performance that they bring, definitely a good price. $549 for the 9070, that can be very well overclocked, and $599 for the 9070 XT. I have the 9070 XT, and believe me, for the current days, $599 is a good price. And the 9070, yeah, it will not be DOA because it depends on the model, and I believe that it will get another $50 cut soon, but yeah, it's kind of a decent card. The computer units number, it's not much different. What really changes is the clock speeds, because the 9070 XT, it clocks like crazy. Let me just tell you that. I can't really say numbers, but it clocks like crazy. Even out of the box, the 9070 XT has crazy clock speeds. Crazy. So Papo is asking, could you add a slide with talks per second from IM Studio for something like Llama 3.1? Well, I need to test that better, but I believe that I can kind of introduce it in the next benchmarks. I have everything tested already, but I can try and see it. Jehon Cross is saying $599 for the 9070 XT. I'm buying it and I own a 40 Ti Super. Yeah, it will be more kind of a side grade in your case scenario, but on the AMD side, it's a very nice card. Depends where you live. $599. Sorry, $599 here will be like $1,100. But yeah, that's because of your country. It isn't because of AMD. just your country taxes and importations and so on. Let me just do kind of a small refresh here. So upgrade my 7800 XT to 7900 XT? No. Just go with your 7800 XT to the 9070 XT. Believe me, it will be worth it. Believe me. I'm just going to be selling my 7900 GRE and getting the 4070 Super. I'm really disappointed. Wait, you're selling the 7900 GRE, that is already a card that is on par or sometimes faster than the 4070 Super. You're buying the 4070 Super that is way slower than the 9070 XT and 9070 and has like 12 gigabytes VRAM. Dude, you're cooking yourself here. You're cooking yourself, believe me. The official release date is on the 6th. So benchmarks will come in the 5th, and on the 6th we'll have cards available to purchase worldwide. From 7900 XTX should upgrade? No. The XTX is still an outstanding card. Unless you really want a card for another computer, not really. The 9070 XT has some really good scenarios, some really good things like ray tracing performance that is much better, definitely much better. But that's about it. And power draw, the power draw is considerably lower as well. Yeah, from the 3070, Daniel Silva, from the 3070 to the 9070 XT, it will be a major upgrade, believe me. Major. There are so many comments that I can't really answer them all. Sorry, guys. I'm trying, but you know. RTX 3080 to 9070 XT worth it? Yes, very worth it. It will be a very nice upgrade. Even in terms of ray tracing, it will be a very nice upgrade. In terms of noise, do certain models better? Yes, of course. The better the model, the better the noise levels. In this case, in the model that I have, which is a Sapphire 1, it is pretty nice. They did a good job here. Even with kind of the mid-tier models, they did a good job. So Papo, they need a higher VRAM card. They are not competing in the prosumer market at all. And yeah, I agree. I would really like to see something like, let's say 80 computer units or something like that with 32 gigabytes. Like, let the card go up to 400 watts like the XTX and make a better one, like 15 to 20% better, if possible, than the 9070 XT. I would really like to see that, honestly. You guys are trying to see it is dual fan. No, it is a 3-fan model, but yeah, not the best model. Overkill for 1080p gaming. Okay, Preston Luthi, $5. In your opinion, what's the most underrated feature of RDNA4 so far? But by the way, thank you, Preston, for the donation. And the most underrated feature, that's an interesting question, because if we're talking about features that I tested, I still didn't test the recording quality. I saw some of it, and it seems pretty nice to me. And by the way, the 9070 XT is on that computer there. You can't actually see it on the video. But I would say that FSR4 is very good, guys, even with just a toggle. So I believe that if FSR4 is implemented inside the game, so natively implemented, it will be even better. But I tested it just with a toggle in games that, of course, have FSR 3.1 and so on. And yeah, it is just much better, and I believe that people will really like FSR4. It is not on the level of the LSS4 with transformer model, of course, but it is but really much better in several aspects compared to FSR 3.1. Like they said on the live stream, in terms of this occlusion, in terms of motion, in terms of several things, in terms of clarity. That's one of the things that I noticed immediately. For example, in the letters on Space Marine 2, when you're starting the intro, there are those letters in the jacket or in the armor, and with FSR 4 they are just more clear. They are just more clearer, more clear, or clearer. Yeah, they are just clearer. They just have way more clarity, and the shimmering is basically zero compared to what it was before, basically zero. So I believe that it will be much better. And Schnippy, stop calling it fake frames. You guys, this is one of the things that annoys me the most. You guys are fake frames this, fake frames that. You don't really understand what is fake frames. Stop watching those internet videos and coming up with those dumb fake frames thing. Mates, fake frames, when people say fake frames, guys like Hardware Unboxed and Gamer Nexus, when they say fake frames, they are referring to frame generation. When we're talking about FSR4, we're talking about upscaling. So it's frame upscaling. We're not generating any frames, so it's not a fake frame. It's just an upscaled frame. So we have a frame with lower resolution that then is upscaled to a higher one. So stop also with that shit of fake frames when you don't really know what is fake frames. When I'm talking about FSR4, I'm talking about upscaling only. Frame generation works well too, but I'm talking about, yeah, upscaling only. Michael T, thank you for the donation. Thanks for the great content, Fabio. As an ITX builder, I'd love to see more SFF-friendly, Radeon GPUs and not just oversized 3 fans model. Well, the previous models, the 7900XT, 7800XT and so on, they are pretty fine. But I believe that this time AMD isn't releasing their own models, which is actually a bummer because I did like the models that they designed. I myself got one from Sapphire. So, yeah, it's not fake pixels, it's upscaling. By the way, I'm gonna take a... Yeah. No, FSR is not upscaling because FSR is the toolkit. You have FSR upscaling, FSR frame generation. It's like that. No, when you are using FSR automatically decreases. For example, if you use FSR quality or DLSS quality, for example, it will render at 66 or 67% of your resolution. That's how it works. For example, if you are running 4K, when you select the quality mode, FSR is rendering at 1440p and then upscaling to 4K. Now, from the 7800 XT to the 9070 XT, you guys will have some very interesting upgrades. Yeah, I would say that you guys would like or will like the upgrade in that scenario. Definitely. It will be a good upgrade, especially in terms of ray tracing. Ray tracing will be much better. For example, in terms of ray tracing, the 7900 GRE is actually considerably better than the 7800 XT because the 7900 GRE has 80 compute units and AMD does the ray tracing workloads on the compute units. So 80 versus 60, the difference is quite big, and that's why the 7900 GRE is much better. Now, with the 9070 XT, we have 64 compute units, so still way less compute units than with the GRE, but the ray tracing and the compute units were just so much improved that the ray tracing performance is much better, believe me, much better. Again, FSR4, AMD, one thing that I believe that you guys missed is that they didn't say that it was 9000 series exclusive because, again, I believe they're working on making it work on the RDNA3 cards since they also have AI computing. So FSR is now, at least now, for the 9000 series, but it may come to the 7000 series. I really believe, and I saw some things, I really believe that they will come for the RDNA3 cards as well. So yeah. Yeah, but FSR wasn't originally on RDNA2. Yeah, it actually was. Oh, you mean frame generation? It actually was. What wasn't originally on RDNA2 was AFMF. AFMF was only for RDNA3, but then they brought it to RDNA2. Still, they are different things because one thing uses AI, the other doesn't really use it. So yeah. But again, we do have a new thing that was leaked before, which is AFMF 2.1 that I will be testing as well as soon as I can. And it seems to be considerably improved. Yeah. No, if you have a 7900 XT, unless you want lower power draw and you want better ray tracing performance, it isn't really worth it. And with the 7900 XT, you have more VRAM, so yeah. I would say the best CPU to pair with the 9070 XT, well, depends on the FPS numbers that you want. If you are playing at higher resolutions, lower FPS numbers, almost any CPU will be fine. Omer's son Gabriel, what time on March 5th will the embargo lift? And by the way, thank you.
25 years. AMD is
somehow it is running again. Thank you for the donation. I believe it will be like 3 in the like 15 hours London time, something like that. Something like that. What do you mean by upscaling headroom? $4080 Super better than the 9070 XT in terms of pure raw performance. Well, in some cases, in some games it is better, in some games not really. Well, you saw the AMD presentation with the 5070 Ti. They did show that the 5070 Ti, let me see if I can show you here the differences. For example, here you can see that in terms of the 5070 Ti, which is more or less like the 4080 Super, more or less, depends on the game. As you can see, in some games it is slower, in some games it is equal, in some games it is faster. So it kind of depends. And then in terms of ray tracing performance, as you can see, ray tracing performance has improved a lot, because compared to the 5070 Ti, the XTX would be like here in most scenarios. So the difference is really, really big. And in some scenarios like Marvel Spider-Man, by the way, I tested the 9070 XT and I tested the RTX 5080 because I have the 5080 here for new results. Thanks Nvidia, by the way, as well. And I can tell you that in Marvel Spider-Man 2, with the normal things working, it actually works better on the 9070 XT, which is impressive to say the least. And FSR4, I tested the LSS4 and the FSR4. And they both look quite well, actually. They both look quite well. And by the way, I had another donation from Daniel Z35. Thank you for the €2. Would you sell the GRE now to get the 9070 XT? Yeah, that's my cat. You just give me a second. He wanted to go out of the studio, but well, if you really want better performance, better upscaling, same power draw or lower power draw, much better ray tracing performance, then yeah, it all comes to what you want actually, because every scenario is a scenario, so a different scenario, should we say. It's how can I call it in English? It's not a coat, it's a robe. Yeah. How far is FSR4 from the LSS transformer model? If you really want to zoom in, of course, the LSS will be better, but FSR is not as bad as most people think it will be. Just let me tell you that. RDNA4 bad prices, not gonna lie. Bad prices where? Tell me where you can get a $600 card that performs like that one does. Just let me know, because I really want to see. Yeah, eating on stream, because I just woke up and I immediately went to live stream and we still had some issues in the beginning, so yeah. Are 9060 coming soon? That's actually a very interesting question, and I really wanted to know as well, but I don't really know. Again, guys, I believe that AMD will release FSR4 for the RDNA3 cards, but we need to wait. We really need to wait. Do we know any partner 9070 series prices? Nope, not really. Yeah, guys, thank you. I'm also eager to show you the benchmarks, but I can't. So thank you, Sazujin, or Subway Stories as well. Thank you. And yeah, there's a little hope. Any more questions? Any more donations that you want to do? Just let me know. I kind of have like half an hour yet, I believe, or maybe not that much. Yeah, the card is good for 4K gaming. Mate, the 9070 XT is like a tremendous, a huge, a monolithic upgrade from your 6750 XT, like not even comparable. As for the benchmarks, I will do the gameplay videos, guys. And I will do the gameplay videos, of course, with several games. And I will include the finals with FSR4, so don't worry. By the way, I will do a video just testing, like the live testing that I usually do with FSR4 and so on. So it is fine. As for the comparison video, I can try to do one. And by the way, if you guys didn't see the live stream, the 9000 series also have better, kind of improved encoding with AI as well. And I will be testing that side by side as well in terms of low video bitrate at 1080p and 1440p, which is the most used for streaming. So, Kuya Bats with $5 or a Canadian $5. Oh, donation, sorry. Should I upgrade the new card from my 7800 XT? From your 7800 XT, yes. The 9070 will be a nice, really a nice upgrade. Like I told you before, guys, I was impressed with the performance of that card. And I'm not impressed easily. I just finished testing the 5080 and I was like, yeah, it is a nice improvement in some games, especially at 4K, but not in all games compared to the 4080 Super. But when I tested the 9070 XT, I just felt like the system was snappy. The drivers were fine. We had way more features on the drivers for those cards. And in terms of performance, yeah, even comparing to the 7900 XT, which is considerably faster than the 7800 XT, it sometimes is faster and sometimes quite faster. So I would say, Kuya Bads, yeah, that it is worth the upgrade. Sorry, now we have another donation from SXS Outcast. Thank you for the $10. With all the headroom left on the table with a 9070 XT, doesn't it seem possible they could get a 9080 XT or XTX with a $400 max power and coupled with 80 units over 64? It could be a monster card. Yes, I said that during the live stream. I just said that I would really like to see something like 400 watts power draw, 450 tops with 80 compute units and clock speeds to hell, like 3 gigahertz with all those compute units, 3.2, and of course at the same time having like 32 gigabytes VRAM. That would be insane, and I would really like AMD to do that. But yeah, the embargo is lifting on the March 5th, so yeah, in a couple of days. Yeah, in a couple, not a couple, but you know what I mean. Omer's son Gabriel, thank you for the second donation. Sell 7900 XT for 900 and buy the 9070 XT for 750. If all you do is gaming, let me say that. If all you do is gaming and you really want to get some money, that is a viable option, I guess. That is a viable option. Yeah, definitely. Because you could get some money, maybe, and at the same time you'd get a card that in most scenarios performs really, really close. Some scenarios better, and like ray tracing and AI considerably better. So yeah. Sorry for skipping some comments, but people are donating and I'm trying to answer them first. So B3N with £2, thank you very much, will be a 9080 or 9080 XT. I would honestly like to have a 9080. I already answered the question before. Yeah, I would really honestly like to have a 9080 with, again, I would say like 400 watts, yeah. Oh, and again, a new a new donation. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Really, you guys are awesome. Preston Luthi with $5. Vex is saying AMD is failing into the same hole they did with the 7000 series launch. Why do you think RDNA4 is more compelling than RDNA3 was? Well, Vex has his own opinions, of course. I have mine. I think that they are doing things differently now. Firstly, in terms of pricing, and secondly, because they said themselves that they are working, so they aren't really saying, oh, this is just for RDNA4, this is just for that. No, they are really working their asses in order to make things work on RDNA3. They did say it, and they are working on it, and we don't really know more information. For example, I have these drivers for the 9070 XT, but I don't really know if the 25.3.1 drivers will bring these features for the RDNA3 cards or not. But again, I did saw one thing where one image where FSR4, and I saw one thing leaked where FSR4 was working with a 7800 XT. But again, these might be things, internal things that they are working on, and see if it is working or not. But again, like they said they would, they are working on it, and RDNA4 is much more compelling for several reasons. They had a huge increase in ray tracing performance, like huge. Compute versus compute, the ray tracing increase was huge. Not even Nvidia had such a huge increase. So the increase in ray tracing per compute unit was really insane. Then we have better performance for the same price and better performance for the same power draw. So for me, it's a way better launch. And of course, the drivers are much better at launch. Believe me, the drivers are much better at launch than the RDNA3 ones were. So I believe it is much better. I believe that they need to bring some features if they can for RDNA3, but generally much better than RDNA3 at launch. Now we have Chila. Thank you for the support. 249 is a good upgrade from 4K from the 2080 Ti to the 9070 XT, not 9700 XT. Yeah, definitely. The 2080 Ti will be completely smoked by the 9070 XT in terms of everything: ray tracing, performance, power draw, everything. So yeah, it is a good upgrade. Now, Ezekiel Riquelme, thank you for the donation as well. In terms of OC, which should be better for price performance? Well, of course that 9070 XT can be overclocked, and in all my benchmark results, I show you the overclocked results. And in some scenarios, the overclocking is quite easy, by the way. The overclocking is quite easy compared to the previous ones. So they kind of finessed the overclocking part, which is very nice for the most common user. And I can tell you that in terms of the overclocking, the 9070 XT doesn't really have that much headroom. It does overclock a bit, and in some cases at 1440p and 4K, you can get a bit more performance. But I believe that the 9070 non-XT will be the real one to shine here, because it is considerably lower in terms of power draw because of the clocks. So it means that it has way more room to go to higher clocks, because the 9070 XT does have some crazy clock speeds. So yeah, I believe that in terms of that, it will be better. So I also would believe that the 9070 should be like $499 and the 9070 XT $599. That would make the 9070 sell a lot as well. So another one. Well, that's a lot of people donating. Thank you, guys. Trace42, thank you for the $5. Thank you for all the great videos and guides over the years. My 5700 XT will find some peace, finally. Yeah, it needs some peace as well. And I believe it will be a very, very good upgrade, and you'll really enjoy it. Believe me, you'll really enjoy it. And of course, for the 9070 XT, like for all other videos and even the 5080, I will do some overclocking tutorials. I will test several things on the 9070 XT, like the encoders. I will test the performance. I will kind of test it throughout several things, so don't worry. As for Nomad 65, sorry, thank you for the $2. Can I use RX 7700 XT on my Ryzen 5 5600X? Yeah, of course you can. It's a decent combination. You'll have Maybe some bottlenecks here and there depending on your GPU card and on the resolution and frame rates that you want to achieve. But generally, yeah, it will be decently fine. Just try to not get a garbage RAM frequency. So yeah. So more questions. Minus 47 PBO. That's not a golden sample. That's a platinum sample. Again, people are still telling me if it is worth the upgrade from the 7800 XT to the 9070 XT, and I'm telling you guys, much better. Much better. Believe me, much better in terms of rasterization, much better in terms of ray tracing. Like hugely better in terms of ray tracing. And no, guys, this won't be a paper launch because they have had cards for the past 3 months in stores. So if they do a paper launch, they are really dumb, and I want to believe that's not the case. Well, the light went off. Changing batteries here. So guys, let's get ready to the last questions. Otherwise, my wife will be kind of poking me with a stick. And still 3 generations behind Nvidia. Yeah. Again, don't be dumb. Honestly, don't be dumb. The ray tracing increase was so huge that yeah, they are not 3 generations behind. They were. Now they are at most 1 generation behind. Believe me. 1 generation, and even compared to this generation, the difference is not that much. So yeah, and in terms of upscaling, the quality increase was also huge. So if AMD continues to do this, like the next generation, they keep doing this, improving RDNA4, and they improve ray tracing, then they improve FSR, they keep improving FSR, believe me, they really have an opportunity to catch up, but they need to do better. They need to keep doing this. Yeah, I didn't read the end note. Any info on VR performance? It seems decently well to me, at least from what I tested, but I only tested VR Mark, so I don't really know. What do you think the price will be in Portugal? 750. It depends on the taxes and so on, but possibly 700, 750. Yeah. Are the new drivers also bringing things for RDNA2 and RDNA3? Well, they are bringing more performance for RDNA3 in terms of ray tracing from what I tested, so improved performance there. But in terms of new things, I don't really know. These drivers that I have, they are specially for the 9070 XT, so I don't really know. But the 23.5.1 might bring some new things to the other cards as well. The improvement in upscaling, again, guys, I believe that AMD is working to make FSR4 work with RDNA3. The AI power needed is huge, so they are still seeing if it is worth the performance impact for RDNA3 users and so on. But I believe it will come out, don't worry. Also, we had an improvement with AFMF2, even for the older cards, from 2 to 2.1, and the frame generation quality and stability is considerably better, so yeah. Oh, we got another donation from Lottie PRZ. Thank you for the ARS 500. I don't really know how much it is, but even if it isn't much, thank you very much. Sorry, because I'm eating, but yeah. What do you think about the combo Ryzen 5 5600 plus 6700 XT in 2025? I learned a lot from your undervolting videos, Fabio. Thank you. It is, I believe it's a nice combo. I mean, it's kind of balanced. The CPU and the GPU are balanced, so yeah, it seems fine to me. But of course, if you can spend a little more, maybe the 5700X 3D, a considerably better CPU. What about LLM and Stable Diffusion? Yeah, that was shown on the live stream and much better. AI performance. So, the XTX is a much more powerful card, let me just tell you that, but in terms of AI performance, the 9070 XT is better. I'll just say this. Like shown there. I have the drivers for the 9070 XT. I don't really have the 25.3.1. Well, the 9070 XT, the AMD also always had less driver overhead if you're talking about CPU overhead. So I don't really know what you mean here, but I don't really know how to test that. It just works well. What's the difference with the FMF 2.1? Better quality, same latency, I believe, but much better stability. It is generally just much better. I tested it a bit. It's just much better. More like lossless scaling now in terms of frame generation. And yeah, 650 watts will be fine if you have a good 650 watts PSU, not like a time bomb 650 watts PSU. I have a Sapphire model. I believe that I can't say which model it is, but I have a Sapphire model. Yeah. If you are buying now for the price that the XTX is currently, I would go for the 9070 XT. For better features like FSR4. Right now, I'm not saying that FSR4 won't come to RDNA3 once again, but yeah. Yeah. AFMF 2.1 is coming in the next driver versions, I believe. Hello Diogo. Yes, they show the prices. It's 549 for the 9070 and 599 for the 9070 XT. Oh, we got another donator. MG2708, €2. Thank you. 7900 XTX owner here. Upgrade now or 5080 Super later. Well, I don't really know if Nvidia will release a 5080 Super. What I can tell you right now is that a 5080 is more kind of a side grade from the XTX than an upgrade. Maybe 20% better in some scenarios, so I wouldn't really go there. As for the, yeah, so I would wait. I would go to 4090 or 5090. Otherwise, it is more like a side grade than an upgrade. And if people are talking about other cards, they will just come way later, I believe. And if you have stutters with Marvel Rivals with a 25.2.1, well, just go to the 25.1.1, I guess. Gamers, believe me, from Papu, upgrade your PSU to a gold and a known good brand. Learn from my mistakes. Yes, just before ending the live stream, I will tell you one thing that every week, almost every week, I won't say every week, but almost every week, I have someone telling me on the comment section of my videos saying that, well, my mistake, actually my issue wasn't with the AMD drivers, I had bad RAM, or my RAM was kind of overclocked, or my RAM was unstable. Then every other couple of weeks I have people telling me, well, actually the AMD drivers weren't the issue, I changed PSU and I stopped having black screens. And yeah, like Papu was saying, PSU is very, very important. Black screens, blue screens, these issues can be caused by your PSU not handling the peak power draw. Not the usual power draw, but the peak power draw, because the cards do have some peak power draws, and when that happens, your PSU might not be able to handle the charge, and it will kind of give you a black screen. So PSU is very important, and if you're having issues with your computer, make sure to make your RAM frequency to standard, like in this case it's like 4800 or something like that for DDR5. Make sure to have your RAM standard and then retest. If you stop having issues when doing that, putting your CPU and RAM to stock, then the issue is not the drivers, is your CPU or RAM. That's one of the best things that I can advise you, or the best things that I can teach you. Is 8 GB of VRAM enough in 2025? Well, if you want to play games at 1080p with FSR or DLSS enabled and just Yeah, generally yes, but I wouldn't really advise it. I would say that 10 gigabytes is the absolute minimum nowadays. Is my Seasonic 80 Plus Bronze 750 watts good for one of those two cards? Yes, perfectly fine, don't worry. Is 1000 watts good enough for the Sapphire XTX? Let me tell you this. I have the 9800X 3D and I have the 7900 XTX there, and my PSU is 750 watts. 750 watts. But it is a Corsair RM750X, yeah, 750X. So it is a very, very good 750 watts PSU. So the wattage alone doesn't really mean much. You have to buy a decent brand. Let's say that. In percentage over your 2070, like insane. It's like 1000%. And I'm not even joking. It's just much, much better, believe me. It's a huge increase. HDZ 7070, thank you for the $5 donation. I have the 7900 XTX and buying the 9700 XT for better ray tracing performance and features. Well, in some scenarios, the XTX will still be faster. I can tell you, I can guarantee you that. But in some others, the 9070 XT will actually get the best of it. And since you have FSR4 out of the box, so you don't really have to wait for FSR4 because it comes ready for RDNA4 already, in some scenarios you will be able to just use FSR without any issues because it really looks good. So yeah. LOL means like 4 times performance in RT, in case you're wondering. Yeah, it's much better. It's much better, definitely. And sometimes maybe better than 4 times, but yeah. In Europe, the 9070 XT will cost over 700 euros. Well, but what can we do? We have taxes, so that's what it is. That's why we see the 5070 Ti at like 1000 euros, and that's why we see the 5080 at like 1500 euros. It is what it is. Yeah, 850 watts is the sweet spot, definitely. Hey Fabio, do you think FSR4 will release for 7000 series in the future? Yes, I believe it will release again for the 7000 series, for RDNA 3. I believe it will. It might take some time, but I believe it will. And I believe that's also one of the reasons why AMD waited a bit for the RDNA 4 launch. They wanted to have everything settled, well done, and they did it. And I believe that's one of the reasons as well. They are still working on it. So guys, any more questions? Like 5 minutes more. If you want to donate, it is the time. No, really. If you want to make your questions, just do it now. Important questions that you have, just do it now. Let's all move to US and avoid taxes. I actually like Portugal. At least the place where I live. I don't really like all of Portugal, of course, but I do like the place where I live. No, because AMD said they would be working with the AIBs in order to have MSRP prices at least for some models. So yeah. Nah, just leave your 7900 XC. You're good to go there. The 7800 XT is in some cases better than the 6900 XT and consumes more power. So yeah, I would say 7800 XT. Benchmarks will come in March 5th. So in like 5 days. Well, considering the 6900 XT is generally performing like the 7800 XT, from my tests, of course, I would say that the 9070 XT would be a nice upgrade. Yeah, I am Portuguese. I live in Portugal and I am Portuguese. Theo, grande abraço. Do I have the money to upgrade is my question. Yeah, we all have those questions, believe me. Yeah, but people, the opinions that I'm giving you is not on what AMD said. I am telling you based on my testing because, again, I already did all my testing with the 9070 XT. So the opinions I'm giving you are according to the benchmarks that I did. Not the benchmarks that AMD told me, not anything, just the benchmarks that I did. So, yeah. EGISL, just wanted to say thank you for your videos. You helped me a lot. Thank you very much for keep watching them and for being here on the live stream. How big is the gap in ray tracing between 7900 XT and 9070 non-XT? In terms of ray tracing, the 9070 will still be faster in some cases and slightly slower in others, depending on the game. If we are completely GPU bottlenecked for ray tracing like path tracing, even the 9070 is better than the 7900 XT. The graphs are, well, I didn't test most of those games, so I don't really know, but generally they are quite in line with reality, generally. Is FSR4 on par with the LSS 3.7? I would say that in some scenarios it is even better. But I didn't test extensively in order to know, but yeah, FSR4 works very well, even with just a toggle. I was impressed. I was playing Space Marines 2 again. I said this already. I was playing Space Marines 2 and I was like, well, let me test FSR 3.1. And I was like, well, they improved FSR 3.1 in this game a lot. The game had lots of updates, so I was like, yeah, they improved it a lot. It looks nice. We don't really have the shimmering that we had before. It looks we have the text clarity and so on. And then I was just realizing that I opened the software and I was like, well, but I reached this part in FSR 3.1. They really have shimmering, a lot of shimmering here, so this can't be. So I noticed that I was using FSR4, and yeah, as soon as I disabled FSR4, entered the game again, the shimmering was there. So FSR4 was definitely much better in that department. And in Spider-Man 2, for example, FSR4 is really, really good as well. It still has some issues in some very specific parts, but in terms of the translucent and transparent pixels, in terms of the clarity and so on, it is much better, like miles away from FSR 3.1. And well, guys, I guess we'll end the live stream now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your donations. Thank you very much for all your appreciation, and thank you very much for watching. Don't worry, in the next, I wouldn't say couple of days, but in the next couple of days, because there are some things that I can release already, not related to RDNA4, but I have some really interesting things, for example, for lossless scaling, a new update that they did, and I believe that you want to see, I believe that you want to see that, guys, sorry. I'm really tired. But yeah, stay tuned because there will be a lot of content for the next couple of days. So thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Anything that you want, leave it in the comment section of this video or the previous one that I made of Windows versus Linux. Thank you very much and see you in the next